Thanksgiving is a horror movie that leaves you feeling good and hyped afterwards, which is my favorite feeling in the entire world. Hey everyone, my name is Gavin and I love horror. After waiting over 15 years for a fake trailer to be turned into a real movie, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving is finally here, and somehow, against all odds, it is a bona fide slasher classic. Let's get into it. Before we get started, I would be thankful if you leave a like for this video and subscribe to the channel. It all helps me out a ton, and I am very, very grateful for you all year round, not just around Thanksgiving. Also, there will be some spoilers ahead for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is based off a fake trailer directed by Eli Roth that debuted during the movie Grindhouse. Now, I was one of the proud 4 people that saw Grindhouse in theaters. I even did one of my earliest YouTube reviews on the movie.
Anyway, today I have a review for a movie that a lot of horror and film buffs looking forward to. Of course, I'm talking about Grindhouse.
Oh, baby Gavin! Also, thank you, Orthodontics. Overall, I thought the experience was a mixed bag, with Planet Terror being absolutely amazing and Death Proof being one of the worst movies I've ever had to sit through in theaters and then had to sit through watching at home because I thought maybe I didn't get it the first time, and then I realized, no, this movie just really sucks. I hate you, Death Proof. You're a bad movie. Please don't come for me for this 2007 hot take. But I really enjoyed the trailers they had in between the films. Of course, you had the Danny Trejo-led Machete trailer, and then you had Edgar Wright's Don't, and then you had Eli Roth directing Thanksgiving. And after we got 2 Machete movies, it was only a matter of time before we got, like, Thanksgiving, right? It's only a matter of time.
2,000 years later.
And it was. It only took 16 years to make it. But luckily, after 16 years, it was worth the wait because Thanksgiving is one of the most enjoyable horror movie experiences I've had all year. Thanksgiving is set in Plymouth, Massachusetts, so prepare to drop your eyes the whole movie. Gotta go watch the Sox play down at Fenway. Chowder. But it's Thanksgiving night in Plymouth, and everybody's heading down to Wright Mart to take part of those Black Friday sales. And after a group of friends gets in early and kind of mocks people outside, it causes a stampede that results in multiple people dying. Now, as somebody who worked retail for a decade, this is the most traumatic opening scene I've seen in a long time. I did so many Thanksgivings, I did so many Black Fridays. It is terrible. It is rough. Just seeing everybody like pushing and just showing the craziness and the consumerism and just how you will literally steal a waffle iron out of a dying man's hand if it means you get that waffle iron for $5 less. Things I've seen on Black Fridays. The things I've seen. Side note, I'm glad Sears is dead, and I hope most of my former managers are having a bad time. After this opening scene, we flash forward 1 year later to where someone is now dressing up like the pilgrim John Carver and killing people who were involved with the riot, taking his revenge. When I say this is one of the most fun horror whodunits since the Scream franchise, I mean it, because all the characters are likable, they all have motives, and everyone's a suspect. It was so much fun trying to figure out who was behind the mask, and when it's finally revealed to be who it's revealed to be, it was a very satisfying reveal. I felt like it was earned. I liked the reveal. I also love the design of the John Carver pilgrim. I think it's one of the most weirdly iconic looks in horror. I love me a good mask killer, so John Carver checks all those boxes for me, and I'll definitely be buying the NECA figure of him because, of course I will. I really love how darkly humorous Thanksgiving is, with not only its depiction of Black Friday and consumerism, but also the idea of online fame and live streaming. I did find it funny, though, that John Carver was able to live stream multiple murders on Instagram and not get his account taken down, but I dare you to show a nipple, John Carver. You show a nipple, that's an instant ban. The humor is fast and witty and never forced, which is that sweet spot for a good horror comedy. One of the best scenes in the movie is towards the end when John Carver has all the teens like around a dinner table asking them to show what they've been grateful for. And it's absurd because he's giving a great villain monologue speech, but also there's a character that's been cooked like a turkey in the middle of the table. And that, for me, is film. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to talk about in this movie. What's that? What about the... Oh, you're right, I did forget. What about the gore? As a Grindhouse movie, Thanksgiving delivers all the fixins for a bloody good time. You've got deaths involving axes, table saws, corn cob holders, a dumpster, and one of my favorite kills, that trampoline kill from the original trailer way back in 2007. Luckily though, they did tone it down a bit so it's not as like, oh God, as the trailer made it seem it was going to be. The practical effects done in this are wonderful, with a few CGI shots inserted as well, but it was never super noticeable, and it didn't take me out of the experience. I love me some practical effects, and Thanksgiving does a great job with those. The entire time the kills were happening, I had a huge smile on my face because the kills were so over the top and absurd, you couldn't help but laugh. Thanksgiving is a horror movie that leaves you feeling good and hyped afterwards, which is my favorite feeling in the entire world. I know some people like the feeling of dread and depression after a horror movie, but I feel that all the time. So why don't you shut the f*** up and let me enjoy watching this turkey mascot get decapitated by a clown? There are a few weak spots in Thanksgiving though, mostly just involving some underdeveloped suspects. They exist as red herrings, but I would have liked to see that maybe go on a little bit longer instead of dropping it at the drop of a pilgrim's hat, if you will. There's just some suspects and they're kind of dropped almost immediately, and I would have liked a few more clues left throughout the movie so you can make a more educated guess on who the killer is instead of just wildly guessing and speculating. I like guessing a whodunit, but I like earning it for myself. And I know this is gonna sound weird, but I guess I expected a little bit more gore from Eli Roth. I mean, this is Eli Roth of Hostel fame. Like, he was doing crazy stuff back in the mid-2000s during the height of the Saw and that torture porn era of movies, if you will. So I expected maybe a little bit more. Also, we are in a post-Terrifier 2 world, so you really gotta put the grind in Grindhouse to shock audiences. Still, I'm not losing any sleep over it. I still like the gore, but I expected a little bit more. Oh, and before I forget and wrap this up, I do want to say that Thanksgiving has my favorite scene of all time involving a cat in a horror movie. It was so well done, so amazing. The cat does not die, so thank you, Eli Roth, for not killing a cat. This cat lover appreciates that. But it's just such a fun scene. My favorite scene in all of horror involving a cat. I love that. So thank you, Eli Roth, for doing that for just me. I'm pretending it was done just for me. Overall, Thanksgiving is one of the most fun times I've had at the movies all year long, and I'd happily go back for seconds. After watching back-to-back disappointments with The Exorcist, Believer, and Five Nights at Freddy's, it was nice to be back in the theater and see a great horror movie, which is why I'm giving Thanksgiving a very thankful 4.5 out of 5. But what did you think? Did you enjoy Thanksgiving? Or maybe it was so 2000 and late for you? Yeah, that's a Black Eyed Peas reference. In the year of our Lord 2023. Want to fight about it? Please don't. I'm very weak. But I love Thanksgiving. Honestly, this might be one of my favorite movies of the entire year. I still have a few things I need to watch to round out a list, but this one's pretty towards the top, y'all. This one's a good one. Let's talk about how much this movie is great or how much you hated it. You'll let me know either way in the comments. As always, please leave a like for this video and subscribe to the channel. I will be eternally grateful. Until next time, happy Thanksgiving.